Welcome to this video on the ancient Indian system of Vedic astrology known as Jyotish. Now, for some of you who are not familiar with Vedic astrology, it's really old. In fact, it dates back to the beginning of the Neolithic period. That's about 10,000 years. It was written about 6,000 years ago, recorded in documents which I'm going to discuss. Behind me, you'll see some of the forerunners of a Vedic astrology. We have Lord Ganesha, who is the god of the Hindu sciences, the Lord of wisdom, the remover of obstacles, a wealth bringer. He instructed the Sattva rishis, the rishis, which means seers, the ancient seers, in the sciences of ancient Vedic astrology. Not just Vedic astrology, but also gemstones, herbs, meridians, health, your chakra points, psychology, astronomy. See, a lot of this was orally transcribed, meaning, it was passed down through a Gokul system, which is a system of guru teaching student. Student must choose the guru, and the guru would teach them everything about life. So Ganesha was the god who brought all of that information. So what you must understand is Vedic astrology, Jyotish, is literally a religion. It's not just a pseudoscience like modern astrology, and it follows what's actually happening on the sidereal arc, meaning the arc of the world, how the sun moves, moon, and these functions govern over psychology. It represents health, your brothers and sisters, the mom that you choose, the grandparents, and especially the karma. The people that you're attracted to can also be seen in ancient Vedic astrology. You need to understand the sun sign, which we know in the West and most tropic astrology. The sun is merely the ego, like from Aries to Pisces, okay? The moon is more like the mind, what's happening with your mom, things like that. Saturn can determine things like your grandparents. Mars is like your siblings. All of this stuff can be seen, and these ancient seers knew it. Now, the three major guys in astrology is Sage Agastya, Sage Brigu, and Sage Vyasa. They brought the knowledge of the stars to us. If it wasn't for these great rishis, we wouldn't have astrology, So I'm going to try my best to break down old systems of astrology. I'm going to go to the next slide and show you. The 7 great sages around the Sattva rishis, the survivors of the flood, the people who birthed mankind into existence. We are their descendants. They are the ancient beings who walk the earth. They exist in the 7 great stars of Ursa Minor. The rishis were the fathers of the planets. So, like Sage Kashyapa, being one of the rishis, he birthed the sun. Brigu was Venus's father. Kashyapa was also Saturn's father, and also Yama, the god of death, the planet Pluto today. So here we have the Sattva rishis around. And their power was the same as the gods, basically had godlike status. So the higher Trinity gods, Brahma, Vishnu, and Shiva, used them as emissaries to create the planets. And the planets govern over the functions of what happens in our life. Kind of like gears of a clock. Saturn is here, Neptune, Pluto, Uranus. They represent functions of our bodies, the systems of our body, and our relationships, the things that we draw into our lives. So when you're working with planets, you're actually working with the forces that control destiny and fate. Of course, you have karmic planets like Rahu and Ketu, who were once a demon. The angels and demons were also born from these 7 sages, including the planets that we look up to today. Astrological text in existence is known as the Bhrigu Samhita. Bhrigu was Venus's father, who cursed Lord Vishnu. One day he went to all the Trinity gods and he wanted to test them. And he said, he went to Shiva, and Shiva was dancing and having sex with Parvati. So he cursed him and said, Shiva, you will only be able to be worshipped as a Shiva Lingam. So today we worship Shiva through Shiva Lingams. He went to Brahma. Brahma didn't pay him any attention. And so he said, Brahma, you're cursed. No one will ever worship you in any form. So today no one worships Brahma. There's no Brahma temples. And for Vishnu, he kicked Vishnu in the chest when he was sleeping. And he said, you paid attention to me, so you win, but you have to take on a human form during every procession of the equinox, every yuga, to save mankind and establish Dharma in the world. Vishnu said, okay, I accept. And Vishnu was revered as supreme consciousness for the earth, the Lord and preserver. So Brighu, the reason why Vishnu has to incarnate as avatars such as like Jesus, Muhammad, Buddha, Rama, Krishna, they're all aspects of Vishnu, the Lord of preservation. But Lakshmi wasn't too happy with the way that Brighu was treating the other gods, so she cursed all sages. She said, Lakshmi will never follow you, money will never follow you sages, you Brahmins. I will never attend a ceremony. So Brahmins cannot do ceremonies to Lakshmi. So in order for the Brahmins to get in good graces with Lakshmi again, they had to perform severe penances, tapas, devotional prayers to summon Lakshmi again. They apologized to her, and Brighu had to write the Brighu Samhita. It's an ancient text written 8,000 years ago. It can only be found in one library, and it's the oldest astrological book. Brighu lived for like 6,000 years. He was Venus's father. And so this ancient Sanskrit text or codex has everyone's name, everyone who hasn't even been born yet. You, me, everybody who's watching here. You can go to the library and it'll say your name, your parents' name, everything. You know, the scary thing is a lot of people who try to take stuff from the library, they go missing, or like their gurus die or something. So there's a bad curse behind the Brighu Samhita library, but you could just don't take anything out from it, okay? So the Brighu Samhita is an ancient Sanskrit scroll text that has been copied over the years, but its source is in South India today. So that's sage Brighu. We're going to talk about the other sage, Agastya Maharishi, the writer of the Naadi leaves. The Naadi leaves are based upon your thumbprint. Each of the bundles are stacked according to the thumbprints, and there are thousands of them written. Sage Agastya Maharishi lived for 4,000 years, and he wanted to prevent the suffering of mankind, so he wrote everyone's destiny in poem form. You can go to India today, South India, Kerala, Tamil Nadu's area, Chola district, and you'll be able to find Naadi leaf readers who can literally find your leaf based on yes or no questions. I didn't believe it. I did it, and they found my leaf. I'm going to show you guys my leaf after this. But basically, men present their right thumbprint, women present their left thumbprint. The idea is Akasha. Everyone has their Akashic records on their thumbprint, creating individuality. Even twins don't have the same thumbprint. So Agastya Maharishi recorded the Naadi leaves in ancient Tamil script. So you're going to have a Naadi leaf reader and a translator, and they're going to tell you, okay, did we find your leaf based upon like what's your mom's name, your dad's name? They ask you just yes or no questions. Don't tell them. Just wait until you say yes, yes, yes. Then they can confirm your leaf. It'll tell you your past life, what you did before, why you're here now, what are you doing. It told me everything. It told me what I was meant to do. I was meant to teach. It told me my sins from my past. And Sage Agastya Maharishi prescribed yagnas or rituals for each individual to clear their karma in this life. It even tells you how you're going to die. It tells you everything in this life and your last life, your previous incarnation, even your name, your wife's name, your children's name, your parents' name, everything, even from your past life, it can be recorded. So try it out, Naadi leaf reading. Brighu, his Samhita. We have Agastya Maharishi and his Naadi leaves. And finally, we have Vyasa, the final father of astrology. He wrote the Mahabharata, the Ramayana. The Mahabharata also has the Bhagavad Gita inside of it, the discussions of Krishna and Arjun. It talks about morality and character. Within these holy books, it talks about astrological events involving the Kauravas and the Pandavas for dominion over the earth. The sons of Krishna eventually won, but Krishna died at the end of the series, beginning the Kali Yuga, which we're living in right now. But these great sages left these holy books behind to give us a system of astrology, which included the nakshatras, the lunar mansions, the stars, which govern our destiny. Behind the 12 signs of astrology are also 27 stars. It's fascinating stuff. So these great sages were at such high elevated states of consciousness, they could see this. In the Bhagavad Gita and in the Upanishads, the ancient texts, the Mahabharata, you'll see astrological events happening. They'll tell you when Saturn is in the sky, what he's doing, Mars, Uranus, Neptune, Pluto, the new planets. It talks about asteroids and meteors. It talks about where the moon was, where the war was. It talks about cosmic weapons, brahmastras, things that were used, like ancient technologies, flying devices, aerodynamics. It even discusses nuclear weapons too. So Ganesha came down to preserve the knowledge. He told Vyasa, write this stuff down so that it won't be perceived as myth, but as fact, as true stories that happened. So Hinduism was based upon this. It's called Vedanta. So all of these ancient texts contain the mysteries of astrology. Later on, the Greeks got hold of it and created their mythologies. Later on, the Romans, and finally the Christians. 12 tribes of Israel, 12 disciples. Come on, it's astrology. You know, it's undeniable. Thank you so much for listening. That was a lot. Try your Naadi leaves. I'm going to show you how mine look. As I mentioned, I was skeptical at first. And then I even tried 3 different Naadi leaf readers. I became obsessed a little bit. Because I was like, no, this can't be. And they all confirmed the same thing. My favorite one was Naadi Ravi. I'm going to put their phone number on the bottom of it so you can give them a call. They're on WhatsApp. And they do conversions from rupee to US dollar if you guys are interested, or euro. So this is my Naadi leaf astrology. It said everything, that I have 6 brothers and sisters. It said my mom's name, my dad's name, what they did, their health problems. It talked about everything. It talks about why I was here, what my karma was. As I mentioned, I didn't believe it. And my Naadi leaves said the same thing. There are about 7 families today in India who still have the original Naadi leaves. As I mentioned, it's based on thumbprint. So when you present them with your thumbprint, they'll tell you events in your life by yes or no questions. And then up your birth chart, which can show you your moon, your sun, everything. Then they draw the chart for you and they send it to you, and it'll confirm even your birth chart. It's all written here. Your diseases, your kids, how many you're going to have, the names of your kids, accidents you'll sustain. I didn't believe it. This is why I did it with 2 different astrologers in 2 different parts of India, and they gave me the same answer. I was freaked out. I was bewildered. I was excited. And it's really exciting. With Naadi leaves, not everyone finds their leaf. They say you find leaf when you're meant to, according to Agastya Maharishi, who wrote the leaves himself. So if you want to try your luck at it and your chance and destiny is aligning, then you'll find your leaf. Some people have never found their leaf, and the English did burn a lot when they took over India, unfortunately. So did a lot of Arabian Muslim raiders. They came and destroyed a lot of temples, sadly. So I'm going to put the number at the bottom. Try it out. Peace. Blessings. Thank you so much for listening to this video. It was long, but I really wanted to get that information out there so that you guys can take control of your own destinies. Working with these cosmic forces to alter, change, or fix, to correct your karma. That's why we're here. Karma is your own making. Karma means action. Peace and love. Thanks a lot. Think about the Naadi leaves. The question that comes to mind is, how much of our destiny is already written? Do we have freedom of choice? It's kind of like in the Matrix when the Oracle tells Neo, well, the choice was already made. You just have to remember why you made the choice. Naadi leaves invoke ancient technologies. You can even call it alien if you wish. Actually, a Naadi leaf reader did tell me one time, it's kind of like an alien technology, and it does change. The purpose of your spiritual practice is to show you that all is one and one is all, right? Like the 3 musketeers, Brahma, Vishnu, and Shiva. Through your dedication, through your austerities, you can change certain things. You're meant to better yourself so that you do not repeat the cycle of reincarnation. Peace, love, and blessings. I hope you have a wonderful day.